everybody, and welcome to Storm Reads. And today I'm going to do a weekly reads video. Yeah, I didn't do a vlog because, well, I didn't have anything really to vlog, and I didn't even finish a book until like Thursday. And so I thought, there really wasn't any sense to do it, so I thought I will just do a weekly reads video where I wrap up what I read and everything and just post it like that. So that's what I'm going to do. I read 4 books this week. And like I said, I didn't finish anything until Thursday, so I was really surprised that I actually accomplished 4 books this week. But I did. So the first one I have to talk about is Tyson Ridge by Robin Carr. It is the 6th book in the Virgin River series. My buddy read this with my friend Barb. We thought we needed some nice, fluffy, kind of light-hearted read because our buddy reads last month just didn't go very well. So we decided to get back into this series. We are both still loving this series. It's just a lot of fun. It's just really sweet. I mean, sometimes I think the town is a little too good to be true and to be real or anything like that, and stuff, because like they're so accepting of like everybody that comes to their town. And I just really like that. But like I said, it's fluffy and it's sweet. And that's what I like. And this one, we have Luke, who is a newcomer to Virgin River. And he is 38. And he is retired from being a Black Hawk pilot. And he had like 4 tours in Iraq, I think, and some things like that. So he's a little bit hardened. And he had a bad relationship whenever he was younger. And it's put him off of any kind of relationship, pretty much, and he just wants to do the one night stand kind of thing and just move on. He comes to Virgin River because he bought some property that had some cabins on it, and he's going to fix those up probably, so he can get an income since he's not being a pilot anymore. And then we have Shelby, who we have seen her mentioned in the previous book. She's the, I think, a niece to Walt that's been in the book. And she has come to town because she's 25, and for 5 years she has spent her time taking care of her mother. And she didn't mind taking care of her mother, but she also never had a chance to have a life because she, from when she was 20 to now, she's taking care of her mother. But her mother has passed on, and it's time for her to have an adventure. So she decides to come and visit her Uncle Walt to kind of, just kind of relax and get going. And she's thinking about going to school, and she's wanting to be, I think it was a nurse or whatever, and to get into some schools, but she wants to just kind of have some fun first. So she comes there, and there she meets Luke. And so Luke is like really attracted to her, but he doesn't want anything, and he thinks she's too nice for him, kind of a thing, and everything. But she also has like her idea of a guy that she would like to date is not Luke. but there was something about Luke that she is attracted to. And so yeah, it was a really cute story. There was a sad part in this story. One of the main kind of staple characters that have been in all of these and everything, he had passed away, and so that was kind of a bummer because you really get to know that person, and so that was sad. But it was still nice and fluffy and light, and I really enjoyed it. I like getting to know new characters, but also getting to be there with Jack and Mel and Preacher and Paige and all of them because they're a lot of fun, and I give it 4 stars. Then the next one I have is Taken. It's Foxcraft #1 by Mbali Israelis. I'm probably butchering that, but yeah, here it is. And this was a middle grade. It's the first in, I think, a trilogy. And it was okay, but I think I had a different idea of what this might be. I thought it was going to be kind of an adventure with a fox, and it is, but it was very like fantastical, and some of the fox can do this thing called foxcraft, and they can change into other creatures and things, and I wasn't expecting that. It was a little strange, And anyway, I think her name is Isla. She she was out when something bad happened, and she met some like mean foxes and things. And when she gets back to her place where her mom and her brother and her grandma and everything's supposed to be, and it's on fire. And so she doesn't know if they made it out alive or if anything happened, but she is looking for her family. And she realizes that there's somebody looking for her brother. And so she thinks that, at least maybe her brother is still alive. But then she meets this other fox, and there's something kind of strange about him. And yeah, but they're on this adventure trying to figure things out. And there are some nasty like creatures after them and all that kind of stuff. And it was okay, but I guess it just wasn't quite what I was wanting or what I was hoping for. I give it 3 stars, and I'm not quite sure if I will probably continue with the series. It was just, I had this book on my shelf, and I wanted to try to start reading some books on my shelf. So I have read this, and now I can put it in the pile, I believe, to take to the used bookstore, because I just really don't think I'm going to finish the series. But that's okay. So the next one I have is On the Lam by Tina Cashin, and this was number 4 in the Kebab Kitchen series. It's the series Read Along that I'm doing with the Killing Time with Cozy's Discord group. And this one, I know you guys probably know by now, has not been a favorite series of mine. I'm kind of trudging through it a little bit. The first one I gave 3 stars. The second one I DNF'd, and the third one I gave like a 2.5 to 3 star. And so, it was really taking me a little bit to want to pick this one up, because I know I haven't really been liking the series. But I'm surprised that I actually did like this one a lot better than any of the other ones. And I think the main reason is, I think her name was Isola, or Eloisa, or something. Anyway, she is the landlady that the main character, Lucy, ends up with whenever she moves out of her friend's house. She's living upstairs to this older lady, because the older lady's nephew is trying to boot her out and consider her like incompetent and not be able to stay there by herself, because he wants her property. So I think she was thinking maybe if she had a tenant, then he wouldn't be able to do that kind of stuff. So she gets it. It's fairly cheap on the rent, so that's what she's needing. And so she moves in there, and that lady, she is eccentric, and she is funny, and she just made me laugh a lot. I wish she would have been in the other ones, because I probably would have liked this series a lot more if she was in it, because she made the story. She really did. And there was, and then her, the lady's nephew is the one that ends up murdered, and so they have to kind of figure it out. And even she knows that she could be considered a suspect, because, he was trying to push her out. But it's her friend Melanie who ends up in the hot seat, so Lucy has to try to figure out what's going on. And it was good. I give this one probably a 3.5 stars, but I would probably round it up to 4 on Goodreads. But I would give it 3.5. But it was good. Then the next one I have, and the last one, is Eddie Whatever by Lois Ruby. And this was probably my favorite read of the week. I really, really loved this middle grade book. I give it 5 stars. It's probably the first middle grade contemporary book that I probably gave 5 stars to. And I really liked it. It was about Eddie, who he has to have a mitzvah project for his bar mitzvah, and his mom notices that he needs to do this, and she's like, "Oh, I got the perfect place for you. You can go to a Silverbrook, and we are going to have you volunteer there. It's like a retirement home, and none of the people, it's not like a nursing home. It's everybody there pretty much has their faculties and all that kind of stuff, and everything. Some of them are in wheelchairs or something, but they're pretty smart and still, got their they're not confined or anything like that." And he's like, "I don't want to go," he doesn't want to hang out with these old folk. and stuff, and he goes and he really enjoys himself, and he gets to know a lot of the characters there. There's a two old guys who fight and bicker back and forth, but they're like best friends. And there's one lady that's in older lady that's in this wheelchair that she thinks that her dead sister is haunting her through the vents, and she's always he's like, wow, she's a little different and crazy. But and then there's one that has had a stroke and she can't talk, and she looks really sad and lonely because nobody comes and visits her, and he kind of takes up with her because he I don't know, feels a little bit bad for her because nobody ever comes and stuff, and he's working on a school project and it's a robot, and he gets an idea about this robot about how maybe he can get it to where if she says some things that the robot will communicate with her, and that she could have a pal and she wouldn't be lonely. So yeah, so he really takes a liking to a lot of the seniors and stuff here. Then some things start going missing from the residents there, and they seem to start going missing around the time that Eddie started working there. So they're all thinking, the lady that runs the place and things like that, that maybe Eddie had something to do with it. But he's like, I would never steal from these people. I would never steal from the seniors. And so he has to try to figure out, what's going on. And he has some suspects. There is an elderly couple there that he learned some things about, and it was pretty funny. And then he's good with building things, but his sister was good at building things a little bit too, and helped him make a secret camera that he puts down in the basement, because he figures that's where the noise is coming from, because the one lady was saying that her dead sister was talking in a man's voice in the vent, and so it was the basement. So he puts it in there to see if he could catch something that was happening there. And he has a friend that's helping him with this because she needs the hours for her bat mitzvah and stuff like that. And so it was really, really cute. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I learned a lot of things because I don't know a lot of stuff about the Jewish culture, and so I didn't know there was a difference in, that there's a bar mitzvah and a bat mitzvah. I didn't know that, one for girls and one for boys. I just thought it was just the same thing. I didn't know there was an actual, like, how you pronounce it or whatever. And so I learned something. And also you have a history lesson in here about the Holocaust and stuff like that, which I think is very important, because it seems like nowadays that people want you to forget about the bad things that happened. And I don't think you should ever forget about the history and the bad things that happened, because if you know about them, then we can learn about those things and be better. And so I like that it had a little part in here about the Holocaust and stuff. So that was really good. So I super enjoy this, and I recommend that anybody who likes middle grade pick this one up. That is everything that I read for this week. Like, not a lot, but I did really good, and that's okay. I think getting towards the end of the year, I'm starting to burn out. I've read so much this year that I'm just like taking my time. I had a big TBR for this month, but I'm not going to get to even half of that. And then some things that I had on the TBR, I've pushed to the side because I've gotten other things, and I've read other things besides that. And one of those is what I'm currently reading. And I'm currently reading Killer Research by Jen McKinley, because this is the latest book in the Library Lover series, and I absolutely love this series. So as soon as it came out on Overdrive where I could get it, I had to just like drop everything and read it. So I'm super excited about this. I really love Mrs. Cole, and this has a lot to do with Mrs. Cole. And I know at the beginning of the series, she is not your favorite person, but she has the most character growth in these series, and I absolutely love it. I am also still working on Mastermind by Andrew Main. This one is the book that I kind of pushed to the side so that I could read Killer Research. So I will probably finish Killer Research and then go back to this one. But this one is it's good. It's got a lot of action and stuff in it, but it's really far-fetched. And it's really hard to believe. You have to suspend your disbelief a lot because it's just really over the top, I think, for any kind of action, like the action sequences and anything. It's kind of far-fetched, but I'm still enjoying it, and I like the storyline. So that I am also still working on this one. I should be able to possibly finish this one by tonight. I've got just this little bit here left, and so I will probably start listening to this one as soon as I get off here. And I am also still working on Spy School at Sea. I haven't been, by Stuart Gibbs. I haven't been working on this one quite as much as the other books, and I really need to get to this one because it is a book that I would like to get finished before the end of the month. And like, yeah, I'm just barely started, so I'm only like, I think 3 chapters in. Yeah, 3 chapters in. So I really need to get this one going. And yeah, that's pretty much the books that I'm currently working on. And I'm sure by the end of the week I will have added something because you all have seen my vlogs and you know how that happens and how that goes. But yeah, so that's all I got going right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.